Hey everyone. Hi Leo. All right, so anyone new to Opal Oracle, welcome. And anyone returning, hi. The first message I heard was, or I saw rather, was something about an alleviation of some sort of feeling that was stagnant, right? Yeah. I did put that back in the deck pretty quickly. We wanted to get right back to what we were doing. But since that kind of, well, that it showed itself very easily, I see that that's just something to be aware of. Obviously, this could be you, but I actually also sense it as people around you, okay? They're going, because everyone's going through their own emotional stuff. All right, let's take a second, take a big breath, and think about what you want to know more about, okay? Ask to be receptive to the messages. Fast. Nice. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Okay. I was just thinking about if you were blind and you were just hearing like what I was saying, but I'm like, wow, interesting. It matters the vibration that we send out, right? Because you could see like a tough situation. Like you have two cards here, they're kind of, they could be seen as a little challenging. Nothing overly dramatic, mostly little things, but little things can be annoyances. But how do we want to view what it is that we are a part of, right? And I heard, how do we disconnect from whatever it is that doesn't serve our highest good? How do we deal with that energy? That's a message from Source. There's a question from God about that, I guess. Your ancestors want to know. I also heard, are you ready to win? That's neat. Now let's see here. Well, I see you're vibrating in a very giving way, actually. I did hear for some of you a position of authority, like maybe you have to do that at work or in the home, in some sort of space and time. It does have to do with others. I see that you're sending out energy that's in a way that's like you have enough of something, right? There's not I sense that there's not really a lack mentality. It's not a conceitedness or I heard a reverence. But it's like, I have enough. I know that I have enough, and I know that I have more than enough. And I understand you're also sending out this kind of energy that's like, I understand that the more that I give, the more that I get. Not doing it for that reason, but just understanding the balance of that, right? The reality of that situation. But also coming through time and experience, karmically speaking, relationally speaking, what have you, through your occupations, you know, the jobs that you've done in your life also, I see, have gave you a lot of experience. And although I heard forgiving of others, there's still something that you don't really there, and I sense this in a okay, when I say whoever did you dirty, like whoever, and again, it can be in any context, however you want to relate this to your life, obviously. But the person that you feel like cheated you in some way, when I say that, who cheated you out of something, lied to you, whatever, whoever pops in your head, I see that they're still a little bit blocking you a little bit, but it's minor, like, and it's only mental. So all you have to do is recognize the thought patterning or the connection there to it neurologically, and then you can cut that cord, okay? Because I sense that you're a really good giver, but in a way you actually, I'm seeing that it's a little harder for you to accept. You're learning to, but there's still something that, again, you don't trust about it somehow, some way. Now, this is a specific message, but I do see it, so I have to share it. For those of you who hold on a second, I want to make sure I get it right. It's like air, there's this triangle of air here, and air actually is a triangular shape. It's like this with the line at the top. Yeah, so I sense for some of you, it's specifically an air sign that hurt your feelings, okay? And if it's not an air sign, it's just a person that you communicated with a lot. You've known them, I heard you've known, for most of you, you've known them well, it's just general, we won't get into timelines, but the point is that I feel like there's something about someone pointing something out very clearly. I don't sense that this is happening. I sense that it had happened, and because of that, there was some distinctive decision, ultimate, finalized decision. Because it wasn't, well, something wasn't morally sound. it wasn't fair. Again, I sense this in the past, but obviously if it's coming up, it's still relevant in some way, or someone you're dealing with, but like, just a second. Oh, I see any of you in going through a court, some sort of legality, or like some sort of technicality, some sort of contract signing. I see before you do all that, you should wait. Maybe like 6 months before you make any decisions. Hold on. I mean, obviously that's to specific things for each of you. Just a second. I said 6 months and 6 cards came out, so this is important. Yeah, 6 is when you'll make some sort of decision about, I heard the finality of something. But until then, it's going to be kind of emotionally confusing because there's some sort of ultimate divine timing, secular nature of the just like what's happening in the stars, something about that before something can completely. It's a slow process, okay? Because someone's not satisfied, and whatever it is that they aren't satisfied in has nothing to do with anyone else, per usual. You know what I mean? Like, we're never really mad about the dishes. You know? But I see, yeah, interesting. The number 6 is important. That's Virgo's house, which is about health, you know, your bodily health, your mental health, your spiritual health. It can be a little trying there. If you have a lot of placements in your 6th house, but I guess you just have to, or maybe what's transiting through there, but there's different ways that you can deal with it. Yeah, that's true. Like, oh, I see. Your message from your higher self also is letting you know that you could have the tendency to want to pick apart others in a way that it's about directing which way something should go or someone should go or how it should go. And you can do that for yourself. And of course, if you're working in a group, you can put in your 2 cents if you want to. It depends on the situation. But things are only decided when... We talked about this before, but... something about the tower with you, you know, like, This came out again. Which actually 5 is your house. You know? It's when the individual is actualized. Okay? As a child, you know, as a child and as an adult in your romantic partnerships, you know, as you grow up, yeah. Whatever that 5 of Cups is that lingers, or that, again, of course this is your reading, so it's a little bit to do with you. I also sense maybe you didn't get all the spark that you usually get during this season because of all the retrogrades and eclipses and things like that. You know, because it's just a different time, different energy. But whether it's you or someone else, like, it's hidden and it's old, okay? But you just have to decide that that's not a loss to remove yourself of your past, because, I mean, yes, be aware of it and understand that it's a part of you, but it's not all of you, you know? Only a foolish person thinks that there's no work to be done on themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they got it all. What do they say? Oh, like how a wise man would never call themselves wise. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying there's something about that. We're in Virgo season, so there's a lot of analytical, you know, deep thinking about it, which I really love this season in that way. At very least mentally, it can be interesting if it's in the positive. So I just want you to know that any difficulty that you're going through, you know, and especially because of those 3 sword cards that were there, and then the 3 of swords and the 2 of swords coming out with the Fool, it's like, this is the mental realm, okay? But it's also very much a spiritual realm. Yeah. So you need help with something, then ask, okay? We can't solve everything with compassion. Sometimes we have to get pissed, you know? Think of a Piscean person, like, they're so compassionate and giving and caring and all these things, but you fuck with their family and they eat your face. They would. Doesn't seem like it, but, you know, no one ever thought Jesus, you know, be crucified either, but I guess just giving yourself a little freedom to ease your mind by so your I want or I rule, it all depends what you look at, who wrote the book, etc., whatever misinformation we're given now. But I see something about not doing something. Like, say you're thirsty, right? But you don't just go to the fridge or go to the store and buy something just because you want it right then. Or for whatever reason. Even if you feel like you need it, wait a second. You know, wait actually like a minute and see what happens, right? You're going to think about like an animal in the wild, you know. Sometimes elephants walk how far for water? You know, hundreds of miles. You know, sometimes maybe a wolf only gets to sip from the brook, you know, once or twice a day. So there's something about that in whatever your desires are, wherever they may come from. If that's internally, externally, external things, it's like just give yourself a second and then decide whether it's something that you really want. What do they say? Like, the way to figure it out if it's actually healthy for you is if it's beckoning you, like, come here, don't you want this? You know, like all the marketing in the grocery store, like, pulls you into the middle aisle where your eyes are instead of, like, looking down at the bottom where all the cheap stuff is. You know, the less higher price stuff. And generally healthier. But either way, there's something about that just... Yeah, it'll help you to figure out, I guess, where your desires are coming from and whether you need it or want it. Again, if it's beckoning or if it's just like, you know that it will be satisfying because you actually don't, I heard, need much of it. Interesting. See, if you have too much on your plate, remember to go have fun, okay? You love fun. Have fun with yourself, you know? I also see that you're kind of unsure about whether something's going to work out. There's a consideration to whether something's going to work out or not, whether something can, like, fit together. You know, basically where, like, is this going to become a stronger structure or is it going to become burdensome? So there's something about that too. I also see that you cannot make anyone put their walls down or free someone from their burden. You can free yourself from your burden, therefore giving an example, emitting that energy into the world. Yes, I see that's your most successful way of, if we're talking about helping the world or changing the world, that's your best bet. Okay? All right, let's choose one card from, we're going to pick from The Wild Unknown by Kim Kranz for Leo. See what your animal is. Leo. I guess you're a tree. Cute. Seems more like a fir than a spruce or a pine to me. There's different levels of different kinds of fir trees. But they're evergreen, right? They keep them. It's good. The roots are really colorful. I like that. All evergreens are sacred. Evergreen means forever love, you know? That's why we, you know, they picked it for Christmas, or doesn't the Nepalese use that? There's people that, I feel like Lebanon's flag has, maybe that's a cedar tree. But either way, wherever you live, I think you should try to find this tree. Maybe you'll recognize it by these little ones that poke out the sides. And I see that you should go sit there and think about well, I heard why it is you can't accept what it is that you can't accept yet. It's fool again. And in ways of acceptance, let go. You know? Oh, I also heard that back to the message from your higher self is also like, don't fight with yourself about being, because I sense that there could be where you either give yourself a lot of stress energetically and you're not resting enough. So I heard an additional message to rest, but also like something about, how did I hear it? Fight the urge to want to give up on something. Okay? I sense that there's something that you shouldn't give up on, and there's something that you should give up on. They relate to one another, but I don't know. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. I guess that's that. Anyone who's still here, thanks for being here. Really great. It's been so wonderful. Just, I feel so blessed, you know, everybody here and all the great comments. I just find them really enlightening, and, you know, like 99.8% of them are just fantastic since the beginning. Really open-minded and caring and giving and gracious, and I just want to thank all of you for being here and being so supportive. Everyone who's donated and I've worked with personally, like, it's really a spectacular situation, you know. It really is a community, and thank you for that, you know. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, that's that, folks. See you later. Peace.